I don't even think I have the energy to talk about everything I disliked about the movie that I watched tonight. It was 1985's Fright Night, written by Tom Holland. He loves horror, so I mean, as a horror film following the horror tropes, it's fine. What I disliked about it, and this is coming from a really huge fan of 80s films, like I continually argue with people about how great the 80s are and how much I love 80s cinema, but this movie had a lot of the worst things about the 80s all boiled in there, and specifically the 80s teen films with their ideas of gender and gender roles in ways that I'm like, really? We really needed, dudes pressuring women for sex. We really needed a vampire bite that equaled losing virginity. And don't you tell me that's not what they were trying to do, because the very first scene you had her sort of ready finally after a year of the guy harassing her. And then, spoiler alert, she gets it with the vampire, and he, they're clearly, it's set up in that whole, romantic, sexy nightgown, hot dude without a shirt, and then he bites her, and it's like, it's totally filmed to be erotic, and I get that's the whole thing with vampires. Like, I've seen the Frank Langella Dracula, it's fucking hot, but in that film, it's hot, and it comes across as hot. In this film, it's creepy because she's like 16, and the vampire is, 40 going on God knows how old. And so it's basically like statutory rape. And then it's creepy because she's a goddamn virgin, and it's awful. And then they turn her into this like vamp, if you will. And it's just, I don't even have the words to describe how much I disliked watching it. But then even putting all of the like gender shit aside, just from, I'm having a hard time lately giving a shit about movies about men. I just don't care anymore. I've seen, it's a big number. According to I Check Movies, which I haven't actually managed to check all the movies that I've seen in my entire life, because I've been watching movies since 1989, and sadly the internet and such things didn't exist, and I didn't have the foresight to write down every movie that I saw in a diary. I am currently at 4,768. This includes short films, but the point is, that's a lot of movies, and so many of them are from a male perspective or about dudes, and I'm really goddamn sick of it. I just don't care anymore. I don't care. I don't care. I have no shits left to give about movies with men. I just don't care. There's too many of them, and they're all the same stories, and they're always going through the same shit. And it's like, how about if we're going to tell the same fucking stories over and over again, how about we don't have white dudes being in the leads anymore? Like, recycle the stories, but switch out the fucking leads so that it's not the same generic white teenager dude. Like, it's just really boring. Yeah. I mean, at some point, maybe I'll watch the 2011 version. Apparently it was written by one of the women who wrote several of the best episodes, I'm told, of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, although I think I've seen like one episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I love the original, like the movie that Joss Whedon hates. It's great. That's a good horror comedy with a vampire. I read a couple of reviews of this 1985 Fright Night. Like, I could only find one woman reviewer, and obviously she hated the movie, which is great. But, like, one of these dudes that reviewed it was like, oh, the tragic vampire. And I'm like, dude lost his girlfriend at some point, like, and so we're supposed to, like, relate to him killing people and eating someone's girlfriend who looks like his girlfriend. Like, no. Fuck your tragic vampire. Ugh. It's just, I'm done. I got nothing. You enjoy this movie, enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, we can go talk about movies that are better.